Hello, everyone. Welcome back to more chess. Playing white against Cytheria. 1510. I believe, yeah, you just take. The Scandinavian. The weakness is they get their queen out right away, and if you let them not have to do that, then they're very happy. Okay. Well, I mean, we develop chasing away the queen, right? That's the idea. Okay. So we get some tempo here. And I would like to develop a center pawn, so I guess I'll put out the other knight. What? This guy know there are minor pieces on the board? What the hell is this? Is this normal Sandy? I've never seen it before, but I don't see a lot of Scandinavian either. Some insane pawn storm at my king? I don't know. I'm just gonna develop a center pawn. I could have done this first. I always forget the queen's guarding, so like I could have done this. Okay, but like not any further, please. I don't want them getting into my G pawn. Okay. Yeah. We're just going to stop that one here, though, because this is actually a useful move. It makes a space for my bishop. Okay, here we are. Very exciting. We have this check, but they can just block in any of a number of ways. I don't think it's that important that it is a check. There's this one, so they can likewise block a number of ways. Not a check, but against the queen. I don't know. I'll just put my bishop here. Don't you just have to send him like way back home after this move? Okay. What am I missing here? Why is this good? I mean, I can capture here, but that like lets the rook out and gives me this isolated rook pawn. I'd rather just wait and have this available. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I think I can. I don't know. I could go here. What are they really gonna do to attack a bishop on c4? All right, they can play like b5, but I could just take it. And if they prep it with another pawn move, I think that would be fine with me. I don't know. Maybe I'll just hang out here where it's safe. Got a better view of important squares anyway. I was just. Oh, you know what? This also. I don't know. No, this doesn't create an isolated pawn. That was why I did it this way. Yeah. So sure. But I'm making it difficult for their rook to get anywhere still, which surely that's the point of all this, is that their rooks can improve. Okay, so this, I don't know. I'm having a little bit of concern about my bishop getting pinned to the queen or something, maybe? I'm also like, what about this? To totally stop the rook cold? I don't know. I should probably just castle, right? This is a good place to have a rook. Sure. All right, let's start paying attention to undefended pieces again. That's how we win games at this level. This bishop is undefended. My opponent's rooks are undefended, and so is this pawn. Knight could go to these squares. Which ones do I care about? I care about that one. That's a pretty good spot for a knight. It attacks my undefended bishop. Okay, so what are we doing about this? Or maybe this is the idea? Their whole thing seems to be focused on my big weakness, which is, I guess, I don't know, everything on the d file. But in particular, their pawns currently are pointing at d5. Let's just improve the rook and see what happens. Here, maybe? It's also prepping to castle, I guess. I could have gone here. That was one reason I kind of wanted to put my bishop here to begin with. I was a little afraid of it getting disrupted by a pawn, but I was happy about the idea that it would prevent castles. So maybe that would have been good to do now, since I didn't do it earlier. Yeah. But I'm not sure. I don't know. That probably would have been good. I'm just a little bit like, this pawn bothers me. Okay, I should really be trying to open up the position, right? I'm way more developed. I should be trying to make pawns trade so I can do something somehow, right? What about here? Does this... It just, at the moment, it just gives up a pawn. Can I support it somehow? Well, there would be this, and then if takes, I can... Actually, this just allows knight here, which is horrible. They want to play that anyway. Let's just improve the knight. I don't see a way to make a pawn break. I'm sure there is one. Well, okay, I could do this, but I don't think that's quite the pawn break that I want. Let me just get a knight into a great spot. I don't know. This is kind of a stupid move, isn't it? Because they can just do this. Okay. So this guy's still undefended. That's important to note. I think we can just go here, and if they want to trade, it's okay. This bishop's not that amazing for me. Whereas their knight is a big nuisance, so I would welcome this trade. It also opens up my rook here in a way which is pretty useful. Their knight is still a little underdeveloped in that it hasn't moved at all. Oh, it actually defends this pawn. I made a mistake. This pawn's been undefended for like a year and a half. Ever since I moved the bishop. Ah. Oh, wow. So, this pawn was only defended by complete luck. They discovered an attack on it, and the response that I have happens to defend here, but I didn't really do this on purpose. Okay, anyway, they're trying to push away the knight. You can go here. This is a hole that they can never attack with a pawn, and I have a bishop supporting it, and it's deep in the enemy camp. It should cause them no end of irritation. But my pawns are not exactly they're nothing to write home about for sure. What about this? It allows push, and then this pawn can't really take. But I could move the bishop first. I could move the bishop now. The knight doesn't really need help at the moment. He's nicely tucked in by the rook, funnily enough. Yeah, this comes with a threat. It attacks this pawn a second time. I like that. And it makes sure the bishop is now like defended, not loose anymore, and I can start having ideas like this. Can I have to do like that? Or maybe this. I don't know. Yeah? I guess that's true. My knight is not supported, and actually the king can come out if he wants. But what about queen here? That should be pretty threatening, I think. Because now the king is lined up, has a discovery lined up against him. This seems fine. You know, we could do stuff like this. If the king doesn't move. Okay. That turns off the discovery, it's true. Okay, fine. But now I have here, right? Which is a great square. Oh, hang on. This pawn is hanging. But that's fine. This is good. I can relocate with tempo and then defend the pawn. On the other hand, they've now successfully defended this pawn by putting my knight in the way. I think I'll just get my rook behind the pawn so I don't have to... Well, what about here? No, that's fine. I currently have only one undefended piece here, but I'm not really sure what I'm up to at the moment. Like, my opponent still is undeveloped, and this bishop is not really going anywhere. But they have stuff like this to maybe make me trade my knight, which I don't want to do. Oh no, that just drops the pawn. That's nice. This attacking my undefended pawn is kind of cute. Okay. Yeah. I guess I have to back up, huh? Their pawns are pretty cool. Mine are kind of bad. Do I have to back up, though? What if I did this? They would just take it. That would be pretty bad. I could be up 2 pawns, but down a bishop, which I don't really want to do. I can't just back up to here. That drops the pawn. So it would be here, which I guess is okay. And then I can maybe try to isolate, like, target this pawn somehow? I don't know. I feel like I had a big advantage at some point, and due to my opponent, like, not developing. And I still must be ahead, I think, but these pawns are really upsetting. Like, their pieces suck. Their king's over here. How am I not crushing? Okay, so we're gonna babysit this pawn even more. Maybe have ideas of some discovery here? It doesn't seem very good. I can pin the pawn, actually. And this is the pawn I wanted to target anyway, so that seems useful. Currently it's attacked twice and defended twice, but... What? What is she up to? She doesn't want to move here, obviously, so she's trying to do something on this diagonal. The only move that makes any sense would be here. It's also pinning this pawn? Don't see how that matters. This pawn is pinned, by the way? I missed this somehow? Huh. So I could do this. Couldn't I? But then as soon as they move the king, my bishop is in trouble and I'll just have to move him. It's not like it does anything amazing. Let's just centralize the queen a bit to a square that's hard to attack. I could go here, pile up on this pawn. But I'm a little worried about g2 if I actually commit to this attack. Right? The bishop might be able to do something. I don't know, could it? I still don't see what the queen is up to. Yeah, let's just put the queen here. Okay, this pawn is no longer pinned. But I do have enough material to take out this pawn if I want. And I don't see any threats over here, right? I mean, this? I don't know what else it could be, and that doesn't seem to do anything. Ah, I should have taken with the bishop first. I was trying to figure out if it mattered, and I thought it didn't, but it does, because now my knight is pinned. It doesn't look like he's pinned, and I'll be very happy if they recapture. But the knight is in trouble. If he moves, then there's this, and I can't actually retake. The bishop is undefended. So I maybe should have prepared a rook move here first. I'll pre-move this, I guess. I would be happy if that happened, but I don't think it will. And if they do nothing, I'll move my rook up here, but I think they're going to try something more like this, maybe? Try to block my bishop's view. I can take, and I think that would be fine. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're doing something else. Try to pile up on the knight, maybe? With a rook move here? That actually seems pretty good. Well, no, but then I can just grab the knight, so... After this, I mean. But okay, I don't get to do both moves. If they go here right now, aren't I in trouble? Yeah. Shit. Okay, pawn move? Takes. Bishop takes. The pawn, the rook is, or the knight is still falling, though. I needed to do this first. Well, wait a minute. No, the knight is attacked 3 times. Yeah, that's true. But what if I do this first? Counterattack against the queen. Well, then they trade queens and pick up the knight. Shit. Ah, this though? The queen still has to get off this diagonal, and importantly, it has to get off this file as well. Here, queen has to retreat in this direction, which like has to be here, or maybe here. Or she could trade with my queen, in which case the rook gets to defend as well, and it unpins the bishop. I think this might be something. I think the only move... I don't know. Wait. But now the knight is pinned for a different reason. Oh, man. If I had just, like, prepared rook here before going into all this, I think I would have been totally fine. Wait, the knight was actually... Oh, right. The bishop was already making... Okay, they're going for this now, but that loses the queen. So that simplifies things for me a lot. And now I have all kinds of great ideas. Well, okay, that's a pretty bad one because the knight takes. But this check pick up the bishop is something you could maybe do with a little bit of preparation, like by taking the knight. Okay, so that was an ending for sure. I feel a little bad about missing. It's not that I like miscalculated the number of defenders of this square so much as that I didn't think about the fact that this bishop is undefended because it doesn't look undefended. It looks like it is defended. This pawn is pinned by the black queen, which I noticed but then kind of forgot about. Yeah, and it says... Yeah, knight takes is this big blunder. I was way up, as I thought I should be. Okay, I thought this might be a good way to go about things. It says queen up here to attack the rook, but I'm not clear on what the follow-up to that is. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, they just move the rook, right? Say, to here, I would have thought? Okay, this attacks the queen, who only has, like, one safe square, then. Oh, or here. I don't know, this is just, like... There's not any specific attack that I see going on, it's just... You're developing pieces to good squares. Really, I mean, insanely good squares where it's hard for the opponent to do anything about them, right? I don't totally... Okay, you end up picking up something. So that queen move is... It's positionally good. It, like, gets you into their... into the back line where pawns can't do anything to her anymore. But is this okay? It's fine. And it says they better run away with the queen now, and then we get to, if we want, take this pawn, I think. Although it says I shouldn't. Why is this bad? Okay, takes. I see. Right. The queen is not so stable a defender of this square. Which is something that ended up happening eventually in the game, but... But I didn't really think about the importance of it. I was just imagining, okay, trades, but they don't have to. They can do this, defend, and then, like, what am I supposed to do? Then they go in again. And the bishop is overwhelmed, and we just have to give up on it. Interesting. Okay, what were my other big mistakes? It doesn't like bishop d3. Oh, of course. Just win the pawn. You can do better. Oh, I mean, you could just actually just take the pawn, I suppose. Right, because if rook takes, you have this fork. What it would prefer is to just push the pawn, huh? Not sure why. Well, it keeps these pawns nice and connected, I guess, but I don't totally understand this. Huh. Okay, next move. Bishop b4 was a blunder. So there must be some in-betweener that gets this pawn and threatens the knight as well? Because I did weaken this pawn, but I didn't totally see the importance of it yet. What exactly is their counter to this? It says all this was fine until they played f6 instead of doing something else. Huh. So after all the exchanges, when I discovered that the queen was magically defending here, there was actually some knockout blow that I missed. Huh. Where? I'm like lost. This is move 16? Yeah. So like what am I supposed to do to improve here? Queen here is sort of powerful, I guess, but it weakens this bishop. Maybe just challenge the knight. No, the bishop is falling. That was why I moved it. Right. So you could defend the bishop like this, maybe? Or here? Kind of like this. I don't know. It's pretty horrible. I don't see the joke. What is it? It is queen here. Why? It drops the bishop. Apparently, I mean, it's like obviously we're threatening something against the king, but I don't see the conclusion. What is the thrilling conclusion? Like, suppose they do nothing. Oh, there's a bishop here. I was too focused on this knight, who wasn't quite close enough. I didn't see that the bishop is supporting the queen. That's why we can make this move with tempo. Okay, and they block like so. And now I can just move the bishop and provide even more support for my queen. I still don't like totally see how she's gonna. I guess this is the idea, right? They chase away the queen, but I get this pawn and it's saying they should block with knight. And I guess I don't trade queens because I have this attack going and it just weakens me. Sure. It's also trading a very active queen for like a really passive one. There is this though. Like, doesn't that help quite a bit? Why not? Ah, no. We get to attack the pinned pawn and line up something with the queen. They kind of have to do this, I agree. Or, well, I mean, queen takes... No, because we get to take the queen. Really? What is this about? We get knight here. But that lets the queen defend, so it's not that amazing. Chase the queen away first. And it's already saying just like, give up the queen. Okay, anyway, sorry, we got a bit deep in that one. The power of my attack was something I did not see. Okay. So this is some blunder. But how? I thought, I mean, I liked this. Attacking the pawn. Here, I think I considered this, which if takes, I would be fine. But if push, this pawn is in a predicament. there's like this attacking the undefended knight, but the knight just moves here, and the queen is trapped. Well, not trapped, but she can't do anything active until the bishop or the queen moves. I guess that's a thought, isn't it? Queen here. Say the knight wants to try and trap us. The bishop, as soon as it moves, we pick up the queen. And as soon as the queen moves, we pick up the bishop. So that's kind of an interesting idea. It says it's not good. I don't know. Get the knight out of here before this move can get in, maybe? No. Rook up to defend, but then... targeting this pawn. I see. So wait a minute. In fact, why not just grab the pawn now? Because it doesn't let me get my rook involved? And also they can take this pawn? No, they can't. So apparently this is great because it gets a rook. It improves the rook. Okay. And we get it over here, threatening some really big stuff. And it's already saying you kind of just have to sack the queen at this point. Because what else are you going to do? Move the rook over. I win your queen. It's actually saying first do this? I don't totally understand. I mean, it's forking the rook. I get it. But aren't there, like, tempo problems? Okay. Anyway. Rook d1 it doesn't like. I mean, I could defend the pawn this way. I think I probably should defend the pawn. I don't see any, like, forward moves with the knight that are that amazing. And the backward moves are awful. I guess I'm just too focused on this pawn, and there's bigger fish to fry that I don't smell. You smell frying fish? I guess. Actually, any move with this knight unveils a second attacker for this pawn, but then they can just boop, come back, right? So... maybe I can I do this? They have knight takes. Bishop takes. They kind of have to... Well, they don't have to trade bishops, I guess. They could do nothing, and the queen's defending, but I think you would run into trouble that way. Takes, attacking the knight, but then the knight can just scoop up one of these pawns. That seems pretty bad. This? It's still dropping that pawn. I don't get it. Oh, okay, there is a backwards knight move that doesn't suck. That's true. Okay. And now it's saying just don't go in for that knight trade. It's that pawn. It doesn't work. I was trying to target it, but they just have all these pieces on it. Maybe I can go after this one instead or something. Or, I mean, the queen doesn't have a lot of places to go. I don't know, though. Like, I don't understand what my advantage is in this position anymore. My king safety, I guess, is pretty good. As far as pieces being developed, I'd say we're relatively similar. Rooks are about equally active. My bishop is a little bit better than theirs, and certainly my knight is better. But their queen is pretty good, and my pawns suck. So I feel like king safety is the main reason that I'm ahead here. So how would I exploit that? Like, attack the queen? But that's just like, oh, great. Now their king safety doesn't matter as much, right? So I don't know. It's kind of a mystery to me. Maybe just rook up here, which is still useful to defend the bishop. No. Oh right, we looked at this and it says queen up. That's how you take advantage of king safety. This move over here, right? We already saw this one and already I forgot. Queen here was bad, but everything was bad in this position, right? This attacked the queen, which seemed kind of cool. I mean, we could do this, but then here, so well, everything seems kind of hopeless. I don't know. Queen here. So that you get this pawn in the end. Okay. Right, they can do this. Or this pawn. But this one's better because it's attacking the undefended rook. And okay. Well, we won a game, but not for any very good reasons, I feel like. I don't know, it was... I was ahead all game, but didn't really know how to take advantage of it. And then I made a blunder that my opponent didn't notice. Well, no. I made this mistake. Of knight takes, which my opponent did notice. But then they made an even bigger mistake in return. And that's how games go at the Lichess 1500 level, for sure. But like, I don't know, I need having this huge advantage all game and then just like not really knowing what to do with it. It's like, okay, even if I don't make this blunder, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This is like a humongous move that I just didn't see at all. It never even entered my mind to push the queen forward. This quadrant of the board was attracting all my attention as attacking, and I didn't see this idea. So I don't know. I just need more practice and experience, but it's like I don't know. It makes me feel a little bit bad that I can be like positionally ahead and trying to do like sensible, good positional things, but then like too inexperienced to notice the tactics that those positional things allow. I don't know. So you can call this positional stuff is I knew about the good night and anyway. We'll mull on my what's the word I'm thinking of? Not quite insecurities. Something like that. We'll mull on my insecurities at a later time. That's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.